We become just by performing just action, temperate by performing temperate actions, brave by performing brave action. The soul suffers when the body is diseased or traumatized, while the body suffers when the soul is ailing. That which is impossible and probable is better than that which is possible and improbable. No one loves the man whom he fears. But nature flies from the infinite, for the infinite is imperfect, and nature always seeks an end. To lead an orchestra, you must turn your back on the crowd. Art takes nature as its motto. Music has the power of producing a certain effect on the moral character of the soul, and if it has the power to do this, it is clear that the young must be directed to music and must be educated in it. Nature makes nothing incomplete and nothing in vain. Pleasure causes us to do base actions, and pain causes us to abstain from doing noble actions. Should a man live underground and there converse with the works of art and mechanism, and should afterwards be brought up into the open day, and see the several glories of the heaven and earth, he would immediately pronounce them the work of such a being as we define God to be. If you would understand anything, observe its beginning and its development. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. In a polity, each citizen is to possess his own arms, which are not supplied or owned by the state. Emotions of any kind can be evoked by melody and rhythm, therefore music has the power to form character. The activity of happiness must occupy an entire lifetime, for one swallow does not a summer make. The best tragedies are conflicts between a hero and his destiny. Character is determined by choice, not opinion. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. And of course, the brain is not responsible for any of the sensations at all. The correct view is that the seat and source of sensation is the region of the heart. The beauty of the soul shines out when a man bears with composure one heavy mischance after another, not because he does not feel them, but because he is a man of high and heroic temper. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. The quality of life is determined by its activities. All communication must lead to change. There is only one good, that is knowledge. There is only one evil, that is ignorance. No science ever defends its first principles. Leisure of itself gives pleasure and happiness and enjoyment of life, which are experienced not by the busy man, but by those who have leisure. Prayers and sacrifices are of no avail. All men seek one goal, success or happiness. Law is mind without reason. Nature, as we say, does nothing without some purpose, and for the purpose of making man a political animal she has endowed him alone among the animals with the power of reasoned speech. Every realm of nature is marvelous. We must no more ask whether the soul and body are one than ask whether the wax and the figure impressed on it are one. For though we love both the truth and our friends, piety requires us to honor the truth first. The senses are gateways to the intelligence. There is nothing in the intelligence which did not first pass through the senses. Definition of tragedy: a hero destroyed by the excess of his virtues. The life of theoretical philosophy is the best and happiest a man can lead. Few men are capable of it, and then only intermittently. For the rest, there is a second best way of life, that of moral virtue and practical wisdom. Today, see if you can stretch your heart and expand your love so that it touches not only those to whom you can give it easily, but also to those who need it so much. The eyes are the organs of temptation, and the ears are the organs of instruction. Evil brings men together. Tyrants preserve themselves by sowing fear and distrust among the citizens by means of spies, by distracting them with foreign wars, by eliminating men of spirit who might lead a revolution, by humbling the people and making them incapable of decisive action. Rhetoric may be defined as the faculty of observing in any given case the available means of persuasion. The form of government is a democracy when the free, who are also poor, and the majority govern, and an oligarchy when the rich and the noble govern, they being at the same time few in number. A gentleman is not disturbed by anything. It is the characteristic of the magnanimous man to ask no favor but to be ready to do kindness to others. To be conscious that we are perceiving or thinking is to be conscious of our own existence. A tragedy is that moment where the hero comes face to face with his true identity. Law is order, and good law is good order. A brave man is clear in his discourse and keeps close to truth. Selfishness doesn't consist in a love to yourself, but in a big degree of such love. A person's life persuades better than his word. Human beings are curious by nature. A life of wealth and many belongings is only a means to happiness. Honor, power, and success cannot be happiness because they depend on the whims of others, and happiness should be self-contained, complete in itself. Fate of empires depends on the education of youth. Thinking is different from perceiving and is held to be in part imagination, in part judgment. The complete man must work, study, and wrestle. Without friends, no one would want to live, even if he had all other goods. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. The life of the intellect is the best and pleasantest for man, because the intellect more than anything else is the man. Thus it will be the happiest life as well. To be ignorant of motion is to be ignorant of nature. A true disciple shows his appreciation by reaching further than his teacher. Those who have been eminent in philosophy, politics, poetry, and the arts have all had tendencies toward melancholy. Since music has so much to do with the molding of character, it is necessary that we teach it to our children. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. There is many a slip between the cup and the lip. The physician heals, nature makes well.